So yesterday, what we discussed, I asked you to install Visual Studio and plugin registration tool, right? So how many of you tried install the plugin registration tool and Visual Studio? Any
I have
challenges?
already.
Any challenges in that? Okay. So yesterday I was facing some issue, right? I sorted out I will tell you what is that issue. So if you see here, whenever you're connecting to the plugin registration tool, you have to give the credentials. So if you give directly clicking on show advanced and giving the credential, it is not authenticating properly. So what you need to do, you need to check this display list of available organizations and you need to click on the login. So once you click on this, it will ask for the account. And if it is the first time, it will ask for the username and password. I already added, right? So you could see this. Okay. So I like open my Visual Studio as well. So this is my solution, right? So I just open here. I'm selecting my account and giving my password. So as usual, as I'm using Microsoft Authenticator, it will ask for the approval. You need to give approval from your mobile. Now here see, these are the environments which I have access. So for now, I am working on my LUT dev environment. You have to select your own environment where you have created entities, where you want to create a plugin. Okay, so I selected LUT dev. Now, what I want to do today, this is my requirement. You need to tell. So I have a scenario like I have a village. In the village, we will have different streets, right? For each street, you will have the male, you will have the female, you will have the children, you will have the total population. So obviously, village will be the a subset of or a all total of all sheets, right? So what I need to do, whenever a new street is added to any village, or whenever you do any update on the any street demographics like count, like female male count or female, anything you modified, it has to reflect in the village level. At the same time, also what I want, suppose if I created a village which had population more than 10,000, I have to create a major village, something like that. So for this purpose, I already created the entities just 5 minutes before to this call. So what is my entities? So here I created three tables. One is village table. This is the table. In this village table, I have the children count, female count, male count, and the total population. In the street also, I created the same columns. Male count, female count, children count, total population. In the major village also same. So what is my requirement is like whenever a new street is added to the village, I have to recalculate the total village population. Okay, suppose if you see here this is my. I'm just giving like I'm following 2025 the standard name structure 2025. Yes, village one. Let's assume. Okay, so I'm just giving the village name. Now if you see, you have village records. You have male count, female count, children count, total population. So obviously, whenever you take any village, these values will be from where you will get from the streets only, right? Suppose if you have 10 streets, you will be having the 10 records under it. So this village and streets have a 1:1 relationship. Okay. So whenever you add any new street, suppose I am adding a new street like S1. Okay, suppose here I have added 20 male, 22 males, 20, 10 children. So first, whenever I do like this kind of operation, what should happen? A new street is added. If you go back to village, you will have a you have a S1. So what do you mean by you have one street? So if that for that village, if you have only one street, here also the count should be same. Suppose if we have multiple streets S2, the count should be automatically updated, right? Getting any questions? So now tell me, you have so far you have too many things. You have learned business rules, you have learned JavaScript, you have learned the Power Automate flows. So with using which functionality you can achieve this total? You need to update this male count, female count whenever this new state is created. So can you tell me by using which component you can calculate the total states male count, total states female count, total states children count, or total population? Can anyone tell me?
Business rules in that calculation field we can using that.
Yes. So in the calculation field, what we can do? Suppose let's create that. Okay. So I'm going to street only. Here I'm creating a, as suggested, I'm creating a new calculated field. Okay. So what is my field? I'm just creating for total population. I want to create a calculated field. So total population, as I had already one field, I'm just giving one more like TLC calculated. I'm giving whole number because all are whole number fields only. Now here instead of format, instead of behavior, I'm just selecting the calculated. The calculated behavior will be eventually discontinued if we count is the formula. That's okay. Save and edit. In this save and edit, what you need to do, you need to give a formula, what you have to calculate. So in my state, I want to calculate the total population, right? So what you can do, you can combine the all male count, female count, children count to the total population, right? So I'm giving add action. So what is my action? Sum. So sum of whole number, right? Here, what is my field? Do you have sum first of all? Addition. One second. What is the field name? Male count. Male count. Female count. Plus children. So here, what I'm doing is set total population calci to sum of male count, female count, children count. I'm just saving those. Now, if you see what you are doing with calculated fields, you are using the same entity fields to do some operation, some calculation. Now, I'm placing this form, this field on the form. Okay, go to main. This is the form which I am using. So I have total population already. Now I want to use total population calci as well. As it is a calculated field, you could see the log because the value should be calculated only. You can't add it or you can't modify it. Okay. Also, I'm adding village lookup. That was written earlier. Okay. Now I just added the two things. One is calculated field and village lookup. Now I want to see the behavior. Okay. Now I'm just refreshing this page. So now I'm creating one more street under the same village. So that is nothing but S3. Now automatically village is populating. Now I'm giving male count as 12, female count as 10, children count as 5. Now when I save this, what will happen? The total count will be automatically populated because I have a calculator full to calculate it. Now thing is same way what I need whenever you enter street values at the village level, I need a calculation. So for that one, what you can do? One thing, you can use the roll up fields. So whenever you are creating a new field, if you observe closely, just now you are creating, right? Whenever you are creating a column like this, like total population again, like I'm just adding roll up suffix. I'm using phone number and behavior. Calculate will be used for across the same entity. Suppose if you want to use roll up means the child record subgrids, you have to use roll up. Now I'm adding total population roll up. I'm adding the formula here. So in this, what we can do, village and sheet have a relationship. So you can do the sum, you can do the aggregate, you can do the average, like that operations you can do if you remember properly. So whenever you can add aggregation, it is showing sum of village children count. So so what I will do, I will use the total population because this has the total population, right? So what it can do, whenever you create a roll of field, you can do the sum of total population from the village records. Okay, village means the what is that street. Okay, just again so and close the related. Here you need to add the related entity first. Mine is related to street right now. What you are doing, you are just adding this. Now street total population calci. So what do you mean by calci? Automatically total population will be calculated at street level. The same calculation will be done at village level with help of roll up. The disadvantage with roll up is like if you see here the mass calculated field. You see the so the disadvantage with roll up is like if you see this ribbon, the banner in the mass calculate the village population mass calculation will be automatically scheduled to run approximately 12 hours from the time that travel is saved. So what does that mean? So even though if you create something immediately, it can't reflect. Okay. So that is the disadvantage of roll up. So but in the real time, no one will wait for 12 hours, right, to see the data. So whenever they create any new street, whenever they delete a new street, they want to see immediately, right? So that's why roll up is not recommended in all the cases. As that has a disadvantage, we will overcome with the our plugin. So now if you understand, right, where do you use the plugin, everything? Okay, now let me open one second. So what I did, I just added the total population roll up field, and I'm doing save and publish to see it in the our app. Now, now if you see for the calculated field, whenever you create a new street or anything, it is reflecting immediately because calculator will work like that only. On the record creation, record save, update itself, it will trigger. Okay. So if you see 14, click on save, you will get updated. Whereas the roll up, it will not like it will updated every 12 hours like that. So even though you have 44 street villages, if you see the total roll up is not calculated because roll up in the back end a CRM job will run. It will execute all roll up fields at once. Okay. So to calculate all street count, roll up also won't help. We can't use JavaScript for this, or we can't use Power Automate. So what will be the next best chance is plugins. So why we are suggesting plugin also I will tell. So what you are expecting whenever a state is added, removed, you want to reflect the immediately, right? So whenever you are creating a new statement, you are creating a new record in the DB. So if you use the server side logic on the record creation, it will trigger immediately and it will show, it will update the during the same database transaction. So yesterday, if you remember, we mentioned right database transaction, what will happen before the core operation, everything. So for that purpose, we will be using plugins. Now the thing is, so now you know like you can't do with this OB component. You have to use plugin. So how do you write a plugin code? You are not unfamiliar. Okay. So what we know, you just have a basic solution and you have the plugin research tool connected. Now we need to find a tool or shortcut to have it plugin code, right? So for that purpose, what we will do, we will use the ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever you want. But for the CRM, you could see the best results with ChatGPT. The ChatGPT also, I want you to recommend. So if you see, whenever you click on this left hand side, you have explore options will be there. Under explore, look for this power platform or something, power apps. So whenever you search for power, you would get like this power apps pro or power platform in the GPTs. So what does that means? Even those are also GPTs only, but whatever you search in them, it will give you the relevant, more relevant. Okay. So if you look for power platform, when you search for GPTs, export GPTs in the Power Platform, you could see a lot of Power Apps Pro, Power Platform Helper, Dynamics 365 Architect, Open Chat GPT, these many. So you have this Power Apps Pro has 100K, Power Platform Helper. I'm using Power Apps Pro. This is giving good results. So just add it here. As I'm already added it. So start chart. So what you want to do now? You want to write a plugin, right? So you need to mention clearly. Create a plugin to calculate male count, female count, children count, total population. Population of a village based on the subgrid, subgrid or related streets count. So whenever you are giving any prompt anything, you should make sure like you are giving all info because you shouldn't assume right. You know like this is the requirement, but it doesn't know right. It is working on behalf of you. So you need to make sure you are giving all information. Okay. So I'm giving street male count, comma, street female count, like this. Okay. So also I should mention what is the relationship between this village and street. Street has 1:2 in relationship. Now I want to calculate. We already written, but I'm just repeating. I want to calculate the male count of village whenever street record added or deleted in the subgrid. Like this you are giving. Now here I am not giving any schema names. Later I will modify. Okay. So I'm just entering. So you are using Power Apps Pro sub GBT and you have given prompt and expecting some C# code plugin. So as I already mentioned, it shows like it has to return C# code. You don't need to explicitly give it. So perfect. This is a classic Dataverse plugin scenario. I will give you those step. So already it is assuming like these are the schema names. You can later modify. Okay. Now if you see village count, village. So if you see this is the C class plugin code it is giving. If you see it has class, it has I plugin, it has the yesterday I was told right. You will be having the standard structure format. What is the context? What is the service vector? Everything. So and so it has given. So it is giving like it is update. So service dot update to village. Now what you need to do? You are getting the ready-made code. You need to copy this code to. You need to put it in your Visual Studio first thing. So once you put it, you will be getting lot of errors because you need to fix this error. First thing, yesterday we just created one solution. We created a one plugin library, right? But I haven't installed any NuGets, extra NuGets. So what are the NuGets like? So whenever you want to connect to any system, that system will have some SDK, software development kit. So for the CRM, we will be having the Microsoft XRM SDK. That is nothing but this one. So you need to install this NuGet SDKs. So how do you install? Right hand to this manage NuGet packages. Go to here in the NuGet. You need to look for it. So Microsoft SDK, you are getting right. So use this one Dataverse symbol which has whatever you have. These are the old versions. Always use this Dataverse symbol which has the Dataverse symbol. Okay. So I'm just installing this latest stable version. Any question so far? Nikhil, Srinivas,
No.
So like this, it will ask a prompt. You need to accept it. You need to install it. So until you resolve all errors, you have to do something or else. So right now, it was giving the first line. It was giving some error. So once I installed, the two errors gone. How many errors we have next? Zero errors. Means I am good, right? The next question is what I need to do. I have assuming this is the code. But if you see here that whatever the schema names, I haven't given my schema names. So I need to replace my schema names. Okay. So let's go back to our platform environment. Now here today I want to add one more point here. So whenever you create any component, this is the table. Suppose you will be having display name and you will be having somewhere advanced options. This is the schema name, right? So to get the schema names, you don't need to go to always this solutions form editor. So we have some tools like Level Up for Dynamic CRM, some extension. So what we can do like if you add to your browser, it will give you like logical name. So for this street entity, I need mail count. This is the logical name, right? So I'm adding this mail count directly here. Okay. So same way I need female count. I'm just replacing. I need children count. Okay. And next the thing is total population. So total population, I would use this one, the calculator fee. Okay. So what you are doing, you are just replacing the default schemas with your actual schemas. Now this is the conditional expression village ID, right? So village, from where do you get the village ID? You have village lookup. This is the village ID. Okay. Any questions? So whatever you got the code from the that you are replacing. Now also for the village, here you are calculating the total. If you have 10 states, you have to do the sum operation, right? Here they are doing the sum operation for each. Total mail is equal to street plus they are looping it. So the same schema updates we have to do here. Okay. Now what you are doing, you are just fetching the actual. Now in the entity village you are doing update. What is the schema name of village? So for that one, what you need to do to go to get the village schema names, you have to go to this village, use level up tool. Here you will have entity logical name as well, somewhere where it is. So entity logical name.
First one, Harish.
Right?
Local name, na? First one.
Logical entity logical name.
Oh,
How to get entity logical name? Somewhere you will have. Otherwise, use this open record in web API. This will be the entity logical name. You have to use the singular LUT villages. Okay. The next thing is you need to replace all these values, right? So go back to village, mail count.
yes, missing.
Sorry.
Harish. Entity schema name yes missing.
Yeah, that's what intention. So schema name should be singular only. That's what
Okay,
I
got
said. Excluded yes because plural is villages is plural, right? But in plugins we will be using entity name is singular only.
got it.
So children count. Here I'm not using roll of field because you can't make update to the roll of fields. That is read only. So I'm using my own custom field only. Now here also street name I need to update, right? So that is nothing but LUT street. Let me confirm. Go back to any one of the street. Open record in web by LUT streets. I think it's not true. Okay. Same smelling, right? Any wrong? Anything wrong? So it's not showing. Okay. Now we are good here. Next thing is village ID. So this is LUT village, right? Village ID. So you need to replace. Do you able to understand or any challenge? Please tell me. I will explain line by line what ChatGPT gave. We can't simply blindly. We shouldn't go right. So I will tell. First, I will sort. I'm sorting the normal generic errors and sorting. Now, so what I said, whenever you want to connect to CRM, you need some SDK. That is XRM SDK. So here we have installed XRM.SDK, right? The next thing is what I did yesterday. I just created a class. Today I'm just doing this I plugin. So what this I plugin gives, right? So in the CRM JavaScript, you got execution context, form context, right? Same way, to get the current record operation, current record context, you have to use this iPlugin tool interface. So once you use iPlugin, you will get this incompleted inherited method. In this inherited method, you have the everything: execution context, iPlugin execution context, service factory, service. So in this context, you will have the entire information. If you see, the context might be using so too many places. Context dot message name. So whenever record is created, update, you want to get it right. So you are using context just message like this. Again, you are using context dot input parameters target. So these are nothing but whatever the record modifying you are doing, right? So the entire information will be there in the input parameters, context dot input parameters. Same like execution in context dot form context. Okay. Now this is about context. So why do we have a service? So to write back to CRM, to write any operation to CRM back, we should have a connection, right? That connection you will be getting from the service factory. If you see here, service service dot equal to service factory dot create organization service. With this help of organization service only, you will be writing, you will be making changes to the CRM server. Now if you see here, context dot user edit is showing. What does that mean? So the entire code will be running with context dot user ID. Means whoever is creating the record, whoever is modifying the record, with that name only, the entire thing will happen. Okay. So the next thing is what this is the till here. This is a very common standard prototype for plugins. And the next thing is, if you see what I want to do, what did I say to ChatGPT? If you see the name, create. I want to calculate the male count, female count, children count. 1 second. Okay. Now what I asked to ChatGPT, I want to calculate the male count, female count, children count, total population village whenever a new state record is added or deleted. So that's why if you see here, context, context dot message name, this is the OR operation in the C sharp. Whenever a record is created or deleted, that's why you have created, update, and deleted. You might sometimes you might be updating the mail count as well, right? So this is the logic that it has given. Now, why it is checking target content village or not? So whenever actually this has to be street. Let me check, double check. Hmm. So whenever we want to check on the street creation, right? So here create target contents village ID. So this is looking for whether it has village or not. That's okay. LUT village. This is nothing but lookup. If the street has village only, it will take consider. That's why this is a null check, kind of a null check. So this is checking village reference. Now next, this is also in the delete operation also it is doing the same. It is checking the thing. We don't need pre-image as we are not doing any pre-image operation now. Now the next thing is okay. Let's have this because the delete operation need it. Okay. Now pre-image content relative village is the same thing. Then village reference equal to null return. If you don't have any proper village in the state, it will return the empty code. It won't do any execute. It won't execute. Now thing is, what we need to do, you need to find how many relevant streets you have it, right? So for that one, you are doing a query expression. You are just fetching all related records, LUT street records, which has the village ID, which is matching with this village ID. You are using the same. Okay. Now, once you get the query, you have to connect with CRM, right? So for that purpose, service.retrieve multiple. You are passing this query. So whatever this condition matching, everything will be written. So you will be getting the entire sheets. Once you got the entire sheets, you have to do the you need to calculate each attribute, right? Male, female. So that's why you are looping this all sheets like total male plus equal to earlier one. So like this, you will do the all sum. Okay. Then what you are doing, you have to update back this calculation to the village record, right? That's why you are using service.update and you are passing village. So what you want to pass, you want to pass LUT mail count, everything, these things, right? So you are setting the values, whatever the values you count. Earlier it was 0. In the for each group you are calculating. Now we are setting back to CRM. Now thing is, I have written this code. I need to bind it to CRM. So what did I say yesterday? Whenever you have written any code, you will be using plugin registration to bind it. So let's build this plugin registration class library. So what you will do, you will use build. So whenever you build, you will get the one DLL, dynamic link library. Build is one succeeded. So if you go to open folder and file explorer, you will be getting like this. Bin, my first plugin. In the bin, you have debug and you have my first plugin DL is generated 10.7.335. It's a wrong time. 335 is showing. Okay. Now what I need to do, I have to register, right? So for that register purpose, what you need to do, you have to go to environment, you have connected to your environment. Now you need to create a new assembly, right? So whenever you click on this register, you will be having register new assembly. Now here specify the location of the assembly to analyze. So where is my assembly DLL? That is in the C drive, right? So if you want to copy the file path also, you can open this and copy this entire path and reuse it in the plugin registration too. So I'm just putting here. So where is my plugin? This one. Now I will get one error. Let's see that. Okay. Assemblies containing plugins must be strongly signed in. Sign in the assembly using a key file. What does it mean signing? So this is a pretty common code you are getting from some ChatGPT or some other external Google or something else, Stack Overflow, anything. So what is the guarantee like? If anyone can register, if you don't have any sign-in key, the same code you can also generate, right? By seeing once, you can also create the same kind of DLL. So to make sure only authenticated persons can update or can delete the assembly, so we have to do sign in. So how do we do sign in? Go to properties. So click on signing. So you need to create a sign in assembly. So I'm just creating a new my first plugin. I'm not using any password. I'm just clicking my FP. Operation control the computer activity. Okay, let me use some password. So let me try with new password. because one second. Save. Let me open with administrator access the Visual Studio. Run as administrator. So these are the I just opened. I'm reopening this. Now I will try to do sign in now. So why it was not working? Because earlier I opened normally the Visual Studio. Now I opened with Run as administrator, right? So that's the error thing. Now what I do it now, I want to regenerate my DLL, right? So I will rebuild the solution. So it will just recreate it. Now I will go to this location. I will update the new DLL. Register selected plugins. The plugin, see now also one error. The plugin assembly targets version 4.7 network. That is not supported. Rebuild the assembly with 4.7. So yesterday only I want to do that, but I want to show the error. So if you remember, when I was installing the plugin, installing the class library, if you observe, I selected the 4.7 version. So where you can see that version. If you click on this application, the target framework is 4.7.2. But ideally, our CRM supports only 4.7 or below only. If you see the error again. So these are all real-time challenges. If you the code you can get from anywhere, but this real-time version issue, the sign issue, unless you try on your own, you can't get it. Okay. So the plugin assembly target version 4.7.2 that is not supported. Rebuild the assembly with 4.7.1. So what I have, I don't have 4.7.1. So how do you get 4.7.1? So you just go to your Google or anything, any browser. Just look for 4.7.1 .NET framework download. If you look for it, you will get it. The same Microsoft site it will be get to you. You need to install that the 4.7 developer pack or runtime. Anything is fine. I'm just using developer pack. It got downloaded. So once it is downloaded, what you need to do in order to install to your local machine. So once you install the local machine, here right now it is showing only 4.6 and 4.7.2, right? Then you could see the 4.7.1 as well. Okay, let it complete. So any question so far? Why we are doing? How we are doing? So the code we are getting anything. The thing is you need to ask what you need clearly. Then only the chart sheet will only give. So here schema names I haven't given, right? It has taken it won't. You can give the schema names as well in your prompt itself. So if that is case, you don't need to modify the prompt even the schema names even. Directly you can just replace the code. Like that you can make it. Now I just installing it. So like this it will ask the .NET Core developer pack install. So once it is installed, you need to restart your Visual Studio to get the latest version. Right now also you won't get because you have to reload Visual Studio. So I just cut out, I just dropped right regarding the sign in key. So why we need sign in key? Because so as you have the sign in key, So only whoever having that signing key, they can only modify the code, they can only update the DLL again. So because the code can be written by anyone else, right? The same code. So whoever has the same sign-in key, they can only make a update to the assembly DLL. Okay, that's why the signing is important in the plugins. Okay, now you have 4.7.1. I just updating back. Once you updated, you need to rebuild it. So how do you rebuild it? Go to Solution Explorer, click on rebuild solution or build solution. You will get the new DLL. Go back to this plugin registration tool, load assembly with the latest 3.44 recent changes. So here you have recalculate village population. From where did you get the recalculate village population class? So in your create plugin, you have this class. So you are having one plugin in this assembly. That's why you have only recalculate village population. If we have multiple classes, you will get the multiple plugins here. Okay. Now I'm doing register selected plugins. So the selected plugins have been registered, successfully registered. So now what you want to do, you are just binded your CRM C# code to CRM, but you want to tell right when it is to execute. So for that purpose only we have methods. You see register new assembly, register new step. So here you have create. What is the primary entity? You want to trigger it on LUT, right? So LUT street. Second entity none. Now, if you see event pipeline stage execution, we have seen yesterday, right? Here, these are the things. When do you want to execute this logic? Whether before the core operation or after the core operation, based upon the need you will be using. We are selecting pre-operation for time being. We are selecting synchronous. Okay. So and run in the user context. I was mentioning, right? So while creating service factory service, you are using context.user_id. So either you can control user context from here, calling user or something else, or from the code. From the two places, you can control the running user context in the plugins. Okay. Now I just adding pre-operation. Now I'm registering new step. The plugin will execute all changes. That's fine. That's a warning kind of. Now I have added one step. So at one more place when do I want to trigger an update, right? So I'm triggering new is a new step. So update message primary entities like LUT street again, secondary entity none, pre-operation, pre-operation new step, close. Now, so for the on the single plugin, I am creating too many steps because I am handling those many steps here. Create I am handling, update I am handling. I have one more delete as well. So I need to create a delete step as well. Okay. So I have to create one more step that is nothing but delete, and for which entity LUT street only. Next none, secondary entity will be none. I will tell when we will use secondary entity. Okay. For the delete step, what we are using? We are using pre-image. So what does that mean by pre-image means? Pre-image means before core operation, whatever the values you have it on the form, you will get that. So for that purpose, we need to use register new image. So pre-image entity alias will be like whatever you are mentioning here in the code, you need to give the same. So I'm using pre-image, and register image. So whatever code has, I done everything. These are the triggering points, let's assume. Okay. Now you have the plugin, you have the steps, you have everything ready, right? Now let's check with in the UI whether it's working or anything. So for the testing purpose, I am creating one more village. Okay. I'm creating a new street. So this is same S1. I'm using same count 12, 11, 6. So why it is taking this much time? It is running a plugin. Query build error. The specified field doesn't exist in the Microsoft 365. What is that error? We need to see. So download log file. If you see the error, LUT village entity doesn't contain the LUT female count. Do you have something else? And name mapping logical to what is the schema name? H doesn't contain female counter. Count is there, no? Any spelling mistake? You have space matching or any spelling mistake? Female, female. See, you
Extra
have extra
space in
space.
the ending, maybe.
You have extra space. That's why it's not working. So I got one error. So what I'm doing now, I'm just I fixed that error. I'm rebuilding it. What Srinivas, you're saying something?
Yeah, same thing, same thing. Extra space on that.
Yeah, sorry, I missed it. So these are the common things you will be getting. If you are getting error, you are understanding error means that is 100% good. Means you are able to solve some issues. Okay. Now I just done that. Now I'm just say see because as you have a plugin on this state record creation, as you have error, this record is unsaved. So you can just click on save simply. If you have everything is proper, it will work without any issues. Now if you see record is saved. Now you don't have anything here 000. Why? Total mail count. Okay. Earlier we have nothing, but we have 000. Let me create one more. Some bug is there. We will sort it out. I created one more sheet now. This is working. Go back to here. Here, if you see S1, S2 means one record, some logical issue here. So what we are doing, total mail street contains 0. It is written in 0. Why? Street equal to 0 plus getting sometimes. Suppose if you have only one street, what is happening? Total mail count plus 0 plus int. What's the logic here? It is doing calculation, but if you have two streets, one is calculating. Something wrong here. Street entities. Suppose if I add one more, what will happen? S3, 2, 3, 7 goes. This is doing, but not all. 33. So it is excluding one, the current record, right? condition equal to refer to. Okay, why it is happening? Because what we are doing in the pre-operation, right? So what will happen pre-operation? That is before the core operation, right? So that's why this this plugin is executing before the third record creation. That's why you are not getting the current record values. So what I will do now, I will make it change to the assembly. So instead of pre-operation, I will make it execute in the post operation. Okay, you got what is the difference? Pre-operation and post operation. Shivendra, Saikalyan. So pre-operation means it is executing before the core operation. Core operation means as per it, the record is not yet created, but you are trying to calculate means the before only it is considering. Now what I did, I just added the post operation, right? So with the post operation, what will happen? After the record creation, it will try to fetch, it will trigger. So after the record creation, it will try it whenever it fetches the all records, it will have everything. Okay. Now I just and haven't do anything here in the logical. So I'm just modified here only, right? So you don't need to rebuild it or you don't need to register again. Just test it again. Now I'm creating one more S4. So this time I am to make a difference. I'm giving in hundreds. Okay. Children 56. Now if you see the count is increased. Why? Because earlier we have now. So what happened earlier? What's happened now is because basically earlier I was executing this logic in the pre-operation of record. So as per S4 pre-operation, it won't have the, it will have the only these three records. That's why it is calculating only these three records count. What I did now, I calculated the, I running the logic in the post operation of this record creation. So it will fetch the all four records, including the current one as well. So that's the difference between pre-operation and post-operation. Any questions? Okay. Are you clear? Do you want us to continue the pre-image, post-image concept, or can we have it tomorrow? Hello?
We'll continue tomorrow.
Yeah. So this is pretty simple case, and I haven't tried anything from scratch. So I told you to use how to use ChatGPT. The only thing is you need to clearly mention what is the relationship between two entities, what you are expecting clearly. If you give, it will give you the proper output. Okay. So I just copy pasted and I just changed the schema names, right? Anything else I did extra? So you can also, whatever the code logic, you need to make it into a normal prompt language. Prompt language means nothing your normal LLMs, large learning models. Okay. Chalo then. Any questions? Anyone? How many of you installed the Visual Studio yesterday?
I have completed.